Hey guys, it's Cassie aka Cats on Camera, and today I'm doing the A to Z of LGBT. Well, technically I'm English, so it's A to Z of LGBT Tag. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it. But anyway, this is a tag that was created quite a while ago and I've never actually done it, surprisingly. So I thought I would do it today. I'm not sure who created it originally, but I will find that out for you and leave the link down below in the description. So check that out. And yeah, basically you just have a book for every letter from A to Z, and although it's probably meant to technically be the letter that starts the book, there is a bit of wiggle room in there. So it says as long as the letter is in the title or the author, it counts. Side note, there are 4 of these that I haven't read yet, and I will mention which ones they are just in case they're terrible when I actually do read them, but I had to pick them because they were the only book that fit with the letter. So for A, I have Autobiography by Christina Laurent. It's about Tanner, a bisexual guy who goes to live in the Bible Belt, and it's about him and his relationship with this Mormon guy. For B, I have Boy Meets Boy by David Levithan. Again, it's probably a book that a lot of you have read. It's exactly what it says on the tin, a boy who meets a boy, and this is set in a universe where being gay is all good and normal, and the star quarterback is the homecoming queen. For C, I have Cinnamon Toast and the End of the World by Janet E. Cameron. This is a book set in the 80s about this boy who kind of realises he's in love with his best friend, and it's about him dealing with that, and it's the 80s, so quite a bit of homophobia and bad stuff happens. You'll hear me talk about this book more in a video coming up. For D, we have Draw the Line by Laurent Lynn. This is about a boy who witnesses a homophobic hate crime and he doesn't know how to tell people because the person who did it is associated with the police. It's the police guy's son, something like that. So instead he writes a comic about it and is basically the hero in the comic describing what happened. And yes, this is partly told in comic and also told in words. For E, we have Elephant Shoe by J.S. Edge. You've heard me talk about this many times. I love it. This is about Mikey who moves back to his hometown about 5 or 6 years after his parents died, and it's just him and his life and pretty much hating his brother, and also a relationship growing between him and his best friend Tate, who has some secrets of his own. Also, gay disabled love interest. For F, we have The Fever King by Victoria Lee. This is a book that I've just finished. It is a sci-fi dystopian political drama type book with fun powers, a bisexual main character, and a lot of political intrigue. For G, we have The God Box by Alex Sanchez. This is set in a religious school where one boy is attempting to come to terms but not really, he doesn't want to be gay, and then a new boy starts the school who's very much openly gay, and he explains how it's okay to be gay, and there's Bible verses throughout this and the way that he interprets it in a way that the Bible says he's allowed to be gay. For H, we have Half Lost, or just the Half Bad series in general, by Sally Green. This follows a bisexual main character and it's just about how his life's shit and everyone wants to kill him, and it's a harrowing series but it's a great series. He's a half code, which means he's half white witch, half black witch, and his black witch father just happens to be the most wanted criminal in the world, so everyone thinks he's as bad as his dad. For I, we have I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. This follows a couple of different characters, some of them in a popular boy band and another girl who is following the boy band and is a big fan, and it's just a really great book. We have all sorts of representation in here. We have trans, gay, bisexual, Muslim, again that religious element. For J, I have Just Between Us by J.H. Trumbull. This is one of the books that I haven't read yet, but from what I can tell by the back, it's a book set in school where one guy falls for another, and the guy he falls for happens to have HIV, and I think it's more of a modern take on HIV. I feel like it was something that was very prevalent in a lot of prevalent. I feel like it's a topic that was very prevalent in a lot of books in the 80s and 90s, and then people kind of stopped talking about it, and then this is a more modern take on it. For K, I have The King's Men by Nora Sakovic. This is the 3rd book in the All for the Game series, which is my favourite series ever, about Exy, this sport, and there's a whole host of different characters in here. Demisexual, gay, bisexual, lesbian, and it has a crime elements. I say elements, there's a big crime element, but it's just great and you should read it. For L, I have Last Winter's Snow by Hans M. Hershey. This is a book set over quite a span of years following this one gay couple, set in Sweden with a Swedish guy and a Sami guy. Sami are the native people of Sweden, and like I say, it spans a couple of decades, I think it is, and it goes across the AIDS crisis and then rights for gay people and whether gay people can adopt. For M, I have More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera, another one you've probably read. Set in a world very similar to ours, apart from the fact that they have this thing where you can go in and they can take some memories away from you. So if you've had traumatic experiences, boom, they can take that away. And it follows a main character who's had a traumatic experience with his dad's suicide, and then he starts having feelings for this boy, and this whole thing unravels, and it's great, and I cried for 100 pages. For N, I have Noah Can't Even by Simon James Green. This is a pretty fun, easy going book. It's about Noah, who's kind of a little bit dorky and geeky, just going about his life, and then his best friend Harry kisses him, sends his whole world in a tumble, and he doesn't know what's going on. For O, I have Openly Straight by Bill Konigsberg. This is about Rafe, who is very much open about his sexuality at home with his parents, with all his friends, but he moves to a new boarding school and he doesn't want to be known as the gay kid, so he just doesn't tell anybody that he's gay. And, you know, he falls for a boy there, and it's just a great book. For P, I have Peter by Kate Walker. This is very much a coming-age story, but doesn't have a romance in it. We do follow Peter, who falls for one of his older brother's best friends, but it's more about him learning about his sexuality and about dirt biking and photography. For Q, I don't have a book. I looked for everything. I looked in the author's name, I looked in the title, and I don't have a Q book, so I'm just going to use Just a Question of Love, the film. So this follows Laurent, who is very much open about his sexuality with everyone apart from his parents. So he lives in a flat with his female best friend, so it doesn't rouse any suspicions. And then when he goes to work at this botanical type thing, he falls for Cedric, who is a few years older, very much open, and doesn't want to be anyone's secret. And it's about love and acceptance, and it's French, so it's subtitled, of course. You can tell by the title it's subtitled, but you should definitely give it a go if you haven't watched it already. For R, I have The Red Sheep by Mia Kerrick. This one follows Brian, who wakes up one day having forgot everything about himself, and he goes to school and realises that he was the school bully, but he doesn't know why, and he doesn't want to be that person anymore. And the guy he bullied, Scott, is somebody that he's kind of falling for, and he's trying to show Scott there's a different person and a new person, and I just really enjoyed this book. For S, I have The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, another book you've probably all read or at least heard of. And yeah, this one is another one of my favourites. I absolutely adore this book. It's about Achilles and Patroclus and them being in a relationship, and it's just a Greek tragedy, and it made me cry loads, but I loved it. And I really want to reread it actually. It's been a while. Probably should. For T, I have The History of Us by Nari Dawn. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And this is about Bradley, who is out, but he's also afraid of showing the fact that he's gay, even though everybody knows he is. He doesn't really want to be in a relationship with anybody. He doesn't want people to see him being gay. And then he meets this film student, TJ, and they go on this road trip where they're talking to loads of different people who have had different experiences being LGBT, some of them good, some of them bad, making a documentary. And yeah, it's all about Bradley trying to learn how to accept himself. For you, I have Under the Stars by Jeff Lafton. This is another one that I haven't read yet, but this is about a very openly gay 16-year-old who goes on holiday to this ranch, and the son of the ranch owner is in the closet, but they kind of kindle up a relationship, and it's about whether they can actually be in a relationship because Ethan lives very far away in Colorado. For V, I have The Vast Fields of Ordinary by Nick Bird. This is about Dade, who is spending his last summer at home. He has a closeted boyfriend, fuck buddy. His parents' marriage is failing, and then he meets Alex, who is pretty much perfect for him. But, I mean, I'm just gonna say now, I give this 3 stars. There are some things in here that wasn't the best. For W, I have Whatever or How Junior Year Became Totally Fucked by J.S. Gozali. And yeah, this follows Mike, who at the beginning of the book, his girlfriend breaks up with him. She says, you know, we're not really together. Let's be BFFs and talk about boys. And he's kind of like, what? What do you mean talk about boys? So that bit gave me Please Like Me vibes. If you've ever seen Please Like Me, if you haven't, check it out. It's a great TV show. But yeah. And yeah, it's just about Mike and him sort of learning about who he is. And then there's a boy, Wallace, who he likes. You know the drill, contemporary, set at school, all that. For P, I have Proxy by Alex London. This is another one that I haven't read yet, but this is a sort of sci-fi dystopian, I do believe, where people have proxies, so if they do anything wrong, their proxy gets the punishment, and this guy does something wrong and he runs away. I think he runs away with his proxy, and I'm pretty sure one of them's bisexual. That's about all I know, but I know there is definitely LGBT themes going on in here. For Y, I have the Young Avengers comics. There are 2 runs of the Young Avengers, and in both we have Wiccan and Hulkling as main characters who are in a relationship with each other from the get-go. But in the second run we also have a bisexual guy, we have a girl that comes out as lesbian near the end, so there's a lot of rep in here, and as you can imagine by the title of it, it's just like the Avengers but young versions, so there's lots of fighting and powers. And finally for Z, we have Here's to You, Zed Pike by Joanna Parkhurst. This is the last one that I've not read on here, but I plan to read it this month, In fact, I think it might be the next book I pick up. And this follows Dusty going to a new school, new place with his younger siblings, going to live with his aunt and uncle that he's never met. And he has a crush on one of the hockey players, but he's not so sure the hockey player is gay. I'm gonna guess that this is gonna be a good book because I read the companion book. Thanks a lot, John and Claire. I really enjoyed it, so I guess I can give this a thumbs up, which I can't give to the other 3 books that I've not read. So yes, there we go. Imagine I'm holding a massive stack of 26 books. That was the A to Z of LGBT book tag. So yeah, let me know down below if you've read any of these or if any of them sound interesting now you've heard of them. Let me know. If this is your first video by me and you enjoy it, and please check out some of my others. And if you continue to enjoy them, and please subscribe, that'd be awesome. Anyway guys, I'll see you in a few days with another video. Bye. I got a reputation, girl, don't you see?